And so, no, I don't think the playoffs should be changed one bit. My original take on it was make it 8 teams. And yes, I'm fully aware that that would have meant that Arizona State, my beloved Arizona State, wouldn't have had a snowball's chance at playing in that game last year, which ended up being arguably the single best, most entertaining game of the entire, some might even say of the whole season, but certainly the most entertaining game of the whole playoff. Notre Dame, Penn State was pretty good. Even Ohio State, Texas was okay. But that game, but Texas versus Arizona State was by far the most entertaining game of the playoff. One of the most entertaining games all year. And they would never have had a shot. But did they deserve it? I don't know. They're 2-loss conference champion. They lost to 2 unranked teams, both on the road, one without their starting quarterback. You could have made an argument if there was an 8-team field. But I certainly wouldn't have been crying into my camera about it otherwise. And I guarantee you Kenny Dillingham wouldn't have either. Neither would any, or probably none of those players. But you guys call yourselves Notre Dame. You're teaching the wrong lesson. So yeah, we could go on for a long time, but no. Nobody needs to expand the playoffs. Nobody needs to have special rules made for them.
There is one kind of expansion that I did like. And
What's that?
I don't know if you saw this or you saw this in the group chat. One idea that I did like was creating an NIT, a not in tournament or not in playoffs for the last couple teams to have their own playoffs, but not for a championship. Because the reason I like that one is because it takes away that safety net for those big teams. You still can't win a natty, but you can prove that you might have deserved that spot, and you can have bragging rights. It gives you something to play for. You still get a little trophy, and that's going to increase viewership too, because those teams would get more excited about that than not playing in a.
You could make that. I mean, you could do like a 12 to sit like a 16 team playoff with that, and then that would get and then give their make there be because and I will say on this note, separate line. Do not say that I'm going back on anything. I'm not. There is something entertainment wise that is missing from bowl games now that there is a playoff. Bowl games used to be in and of themselves the season punctuation mark. There is a lack of luster to them because they're just not that interesting and anymore. And I do respect now. They're
very much because of people opting out and being soft.
Yes, that's the main reason. So I wouldn't be mad at making some of these lesser bowl games into something like that. It'd be hard to market it, but that's a possibility. That's an idea. I do like the idea. I mean, there's a couple other ideas that have been floated around that I've seen. One that I really like is you get your NIL money at the end of the year, or you have 50% up front, 50% if you actually finish the season with your team. And so that's an incentive that I could see is don't take, just skip out on the bowl game because of that. There's a couple different ways that you could go to kind of salvage these things. Not expanding the playoff, not giving certain teams or certain conferences the right. I think probably you might disagree with me strongly on this. I do stick by this strongly. We need to have major incentives for conference championships, and I will disagree with you on this, Chase, and it's okay because I do think that we can have separate opinions on this, but I do think that having massive incentives for conference championships works, and I do not think that it's fair to say that this person came in, got blown out, and has no repercussions for it.